And joining me today, I've got Ralph Sutton. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. You guys might know Ralph from anything from Shiprocked, where you were the MC for what, 10 years?
10 years. I took a year off. I may be back this coming year. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they'd all be happy to have you back. Now you're the co-owner, co-founder of Gas Digital Network.
Yeah, we have 22 shows. Mine's one of them, and we have several million listeners a week. It's pretty wild. It's pretty crazy the journey that I took that ended me in the podcasting game.
Yeah, well, I mean, for what I've been looking into your stuff, you started out as doing cooking.
Well, actually, believe it or not, I started out as a nightclub promoter in Brooklyn and in Manhattan when I was a kid, like 17, 18.
Really? A nightclub promoter at 17 or 18?
I actually lied. I called the Palladium, which was a legendary nightclub in New York, and pretended to be a nightclub promoter.
Really?
At the time, teen nights in New York were a thing.
Yeah.
So in 86, I was 16. 86 is when the age for drinking changed to 21.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of clubs would do teen nights to try and make up for lost revenue because you lost 4 years of primary drinking people and whatever.
Right.
So I went to a club one night at Palladium. They had a room and it was dead. And I said, I know more people that are here. And I lied my way into becoming a nightclub promoter. I did that for about 2 years and then realized my real heart was more into rock music. So
right.
I started running rock clubs. And I did from like 20 to 22 for 2-3 years. I was a rock club promoter and rock DJ at legendary clubs like Limelight, L'Amour, and really? I was involved with the first Pearl Jam show in New York ever, Helmet, White Zombie. Like,
no shit.
Got to see some great shows very early on. And then went into strip club DJing. Did that for like 12 years, 13 years. Very good money. But then I started to really hate it and went to cooking school for a year and then ran a restaurant for 4 years. But through that time, I also started doing radio. And I met a strip club. At the strip club, I met a DJ that was also in radio.
Right.
And he got me a job doing overnights. And then I talked my way into getting my own shift that turned into a rock radio show in a local station. And eventually we were up to about 95 stations around the country.
Really?
Back when there was actually syndicated radio. That show was called The Tour Bus. And that's what I did for most of my adult life. From like 29 to 45. I did rock radio.
Right.
And that was what I did. That's how I identified myself. That's how I got Shiprock, M3 Rock Festival, Sturgis Rally. I was a VJ on VH1, all that through the radio show, And then 6-7 years ago, it was very obvious to me radio was dying.
Right.
So I started doing a podcast with a comedian friend of mine.
Right.
And that turned into getting popular. That led into Gas Digital.
I'm a huge fan of what you're doing with Gas Digital. I like so many of those shows. I'll have to. I'm going to go ahead and admit it. My fucking my membership elapsed on me, and I had to. I had a big road trip coming, and I had to stop watching it for a couple weeks so that I could have something to listen to on my ride because I didn't have all that archive. So, needless to say, as soon as I got done, my subscription was renewed, and I had to.
That's nice to know. Yeah, the subscription side of it saved us during COVID, man. I gotta tell you, because
I bet it did.
We lost every advertiser, so thank God we still have the subscribers.
Yeah. Now, are they coming back pretty good now? Are your advertisers?
Subscribers actually, believe it or not, subscribers stayed.
Yeah, I meant your sponsors. Yeah.
Yeah, we were back by let's see, like it's all shit hit the fan March, April, May is when the shit hit the fan, but
right.
By June we already had things going pretty well. June, July, it started to come back.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's take a little break and listen to some music, and when we get back, we'll talk about some of that cooking that you do. Editing is a wonderful thing. Now,
I've made words in the past, like when
by cutting them together.
Yeah, cutting words together. Like if I was interviewing back in radio days, if we needed a word I could take the beginning of one word, the end of another, or splice. I've had
no shit. You're dangerous. Okay, and we're back. Ralph Sutton sitting in with me. We've been talking about a little bit of your background.
We were talking off air about this. I have a funny story for you, Darren.
I can't wait to hear it.
When my radio show first started, we were on some piece of shit station in the middle of nowhere, right? And there was no way I was going to get good interviews. Not going to happen. We were on 10 to midnight on Sundays. So it just wasn't. And this is live radio back when you couldn't even pre-tape anything really. It was like that was when we were doing it, 10 to midnight on Sundays. And so I wanted to get big name interviews. And I was at a CD store. This is back when those things existed.
Right.
And I found a treasure trove of famous rock star interviews on CD.
Yeah.
And there was about 12 or 15 of them, let's say. And it was Guns N' Roses, Van Halen, Motley Crue, AC/DC, Bon Jovi.
Yeah, huge ones.
Kiss. Great ones. So I bought all of them. And then I just edited out the answers. And then I asked the questions on the air. And so for like 10, 12 weeks, we had the best.
Oh, man. You're an evil genius, Ralph.
Yeah, and we got away with it. It's like, look at this little shitty show.
I can't.
Where it's getting incredible guests.
That's awesome, man. That's crazy. Editing is a wonderful thing. It's scary. It's like that deep bass stuff that they're doing. You might have been.
It'll eventually be a problem. It's going to eventually be a real problem.
Well, I can already see how that's happening. You might just be like patient zero on that.
Yeah, it's funny is that there's that Tom Cruise TikTok guy. Have you seen him?
Oh yeah, I can't think of his name though, dude.
I don't know his name, but he looks just
just like him.
He sounds just like him, and it's super convincing, but it's not him. So there's going to be a new sect of the universe, which is, are these things real? And they're gonna have to figure it out.
Well, and that's dangerous. I say enough crazy shit, and now that it's being recorded, and where it could be digitally collected. It's hard telling what people could have me saying. I say bad enough shit on my own.
I think there's I could be wrong on this number, but 35 sounds that we make comprise all language. So if you just say all those sounds, then someone could make
anything.
Inflection. But I've seen there's this, Adobe, which is the main master editing suite. Adobe, Adobe Audition. I saw something Adobe Audition was working on, which was once it had enough of a sample of someone's voice, you could type in what you want, and it sounded conversational. It's pretty crazy.
Really? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. By the time I'm going to keep practicing, and I'm going to have you saying that you love Mayhem Jesus at the end of this.
No worries. I'll give you the word separately. I was going to say, I may.
Yeah.
And then you have the may there.
Yeah. We'll put it together for sure.
Yeah, you
make it. You're going to make me work for it, but I'm going to get it.
Why not?
All right, man. So you said that you did a year of cooking school, and then I saw in your bio that you were at a bistro. You managed your secret. Yeah. How was that?
I ran a French bistro here in New York for about 4 years called Ferrier, which was a pretty nice place. I was there for a while, but I also helped. If any of your listeners have been in New York, you've probably seen these because there's 80 locations now. It's a raw organic vegan company called Juice Press, and they're all over the country. And I actually do a podcast with that founder now called Good Sugar. But I helped that company go from 3 stores to 30 and left because the problem is this. I love food. I fucking hate the food business.
Right.
So, by the way, I keep cursing. Can we curse?
Yeah. This is Rock Rage Radio. Say whatever the fuck you want.
I just want to make sure. I didn't know. Anyway. So, I am passionate about food, passionate about cooking.
Right.
But I don't like people to tell me how to run a restaurant, what food should have what. So I realized that I wasn't made for that business.
Right, you're made to cook at your house.
I don't like it.
Yeah, the stuff that you've been posting, man. It looks like you've definitely had some training. It's not something that you just stumbled onto.
Also, plating is a big part of it. You can make anything look good with the right plating.
I was amazed at how I've seen a meal. I saw a video on YouTube not long ago. Same meal, just plated different. And it's amazing the difference that it'll make.
Yeah, it really, even having a stupid thing like a mandolin slicer and a squirt bottle, those 2 items can change the way everything looks. And it takes, so years ago, after I was on VH1 for about a year as a one of those VJs, they don't have those anymore, but I was offered to try and figure out a show to do. And because of my background, we had 2 shows in the works. One was called Recipes That Rock, which was me cooking a rock star's favorite dish.
Oh, that's cool.
That rock star.
That's way cool.
We went to a nightclub or a small venue where the band would play and 50 fans of that band would get to come in and eat the food he made while they were performing. And we shot 1 or 2 episodes of it. It never came out. But the other one was called Have Date Will Cook, where I taught people who didn't know how to cook how to make something simple and stupid, really easy, so it looks like you really know what you're doing.
Yeah. That's what I need, man. That's what I need. I need to impress the ladies. I'm gonna have to get a crash course from Ralph Sutton.
I did a segment during the beginning of COVID on my, because I was bored at the beginning of Instagram. It was called what is it called there? Crap. It's called Food and Ralphie Time.
Yeah.
Food
Oh, I remember
and
that.
Ralphie Time.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
remember
funny
that.
because it was an acronym for the word fart. And I was showing people super easy, simple recipes.
That's
that
awesome.
taste great.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's
I
cool.
was just bored. In the pandemic, I was just bored.
Yeah.
Coming up with stupid ideas.
I'm telling you, it's a wonder. That's what makes me mad about like the bands that didn't write when they were down, and
Yeah.
it just seems like that's a wasted opportunity.
We had Alice Cooper on the SDR show a
I
couple
saw
weeks
that.
ago, and he said if we don't get a influx of incredible music once the world is open up again, boy, did people waste their time.
Yeah, and the good thing is I've been with this radio stuff. I've been getting a lot of music sent to me, and it seems like there has been a lot of writing being done, and I've heard great stuff that I've just it's crazy to see that they got under 1,000 downloads streams on this stuff because it's just amazing music.
Well, that's what I always feel is that there's constantly phenomenal music out there. The difference is now you have to go seek it. Where
Right.
it used to be, there was 2 rock stations in New York, and you would listen to that.
And they tell you what you like.
Yeah, exactly. But still, all these great things would get unknown.
Right.
Now, at least, you have the ability. If you were a band without a record label, no one would hear your stuff 20 years ago. But now, anybody can release anything. The good side is that there's a lot more people. On the bad side, it's harder to find great music because there's so much shit.
Man, that's the worst part of it. It's a crazy thing to have to bitch about, but with all these bands sending me, you wade through a bunch that just, I mean, I appreciate everybody that makes music and does their thing, but it's just not all what I'm looking for. And wading through everything that's not to find, that one that I like can be kind of daunting sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, look, every single person I meet feels they'd be the best guest in the world on the SDR show.
Right.
And I just have to say, well, every girl I've gone on a date with, every dude I meet, everybody thinks they should be the next guest, but it's like my answer was, yeah, everybody says that. But,
I'm sure.
It's the answer, but it's harder and harder to find people or music. I love bringing on bands that I love that maybe no one knows about.
Right.
And then people are like, holy shit, like they'll even admit this. The first show Steel Panther ever did in the East Coast was with me.
Really?
Because I heard them in LA. I love them. I flew them to the East Coast to do a string of dates because I had my radio show on at the time in New Jersey, Long Island, and in New York City, like upstate New York, not New York City. So we had a pretty good coverage of the area.
Mm-hmm.
So we booked 3 shows with them because I wanted people to discover this band.
That's crazy. That's what I like about doing the indie music scene. The bands that I find that I like and my friends like. I got an opportunity now with Rock Rage Radio and all that, and just the social media to help promote them and get them heard. And if I can do anything to help some of these bands make it, I'd be more than happy.
The amazing thing right now is that every band, every podcast, every radio show, you're one viral clip away from being a million listener show. Like, It's amazing how quickly that could turn around. Like, something happened with SDR during the pandemic with 2 older 80s rock guys.
I saw it. I know who it is.
And that doubled our numbers. Everybody was talking about it. You know? I mean, it wasn't intentional. It just happened. And it's Rob Halford and Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
It's just a thing to talk about. And boy, did that change. Like our numbers literally doubled.
No kidding. Yeah. Man, that was hilarious. And it wasn't a week or 2 after that. I had a friend, I want to say it was Ashland, that was going to a birthday party where Sebastian Bach was going to be. And I was like, don't say shit about Rob Halford, man. he will go off on you and walk out. That was hilarious. And watching him fumble with the camera was fucking...
The weird thing is, I would never say I was friends with him. Friends is a strong word, but I was acquainted with him for years. And I knew it wasn't going to make it the whole hour because he was very quick-tempered. But I thought we would get past 10 minutes for sure, and we did not.
No, man, Jay had me rolling, and he was so trying to back up and be nice. And there's just no recovering from that.
Yeah. And the fact that we were able to get Rob Halford on the following show.
That was perfect. And he was so cool about it.
Yeah. As I knew, we're working now. I don't know if it's going to happen until maybe next year on a roast for Rob Halford.
Oh, really? Yeah.
We're going to try and film it and make it a big thing, like a Gas Digital exclusive pay-per-view roast.
That's awesome, man. You guys have done a lot of really cool stuff through roasts and all that, and the whole crew that hangs out. That's kind of become my, that's my favorite comedy scene. It's Jay and Lewis and fucking I like Tony Hinchcliffe, even fucking all that shit he's going through. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I feel bad. It's funny is that he's done SDR once. He's a great guy. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
It's just weird these days. You have to know when he went on stage, he had to know that was going to backfire. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate thing that we live in a world where you can't make any jokes anymore.
Right. I'm aware of the social climate. I'm sure that Tony Hinchcliffe is too. You know what I mean? But I'm a nobody.
I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I feel bad. Just like with Shane Gillis.
Yeah, I love Shane Gillis, man.
All these guys, they're all, and it's funny. I have not yet. I think because comics are so honest on stage and stuff. At least through Jay's crew of people that I've met, I've never met one of them that I thought was an asshole. They're all really just good dudes. They're nice people.
They're hilarious, man. And Ari's one of my favorites, but I gotta say that a drunk Shane Gillis on Legion of Skanks is gonna be. I'm gonna have to watch it twice at least because.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Oh man, and the fact they've got so much material off of him losing SNL that it's there.
I mean, I don't care how well his podcast is doing. It's still got to suck.
Yeah.
Perfect storm because just by chance the other cast member was a gay Asian guy. It could have been worse.
Right. Oh man, I think that sounds like the shit that would happen to me. I'll be right on the cusp of something huge and I'll make a joke that'll fuck me up. And
I fortunately other than a couple years ago on Shiprocked. And what bothers me the most about it, and Jay's brought this up with his life too, if you're gonna die from a joke, at least be a joke that you're proud of.
Right. Right.
And this wasn't. It was just a spur of the moment thing. We're going back now, I think 3 or 4, maybe 5 years ago. Whenever the singer Linkin Park died, whenever that was, right?
Yeah.
When he killed himself, right?
Yeah.
On my news feed, one after the other, Chester Bennington died, and then it was O.J. Simpson gets let out of jail.
Oh no.
What a stupid joke. Maybe Chester didn't want to live in a world where OJ runs free. It's not even a great joke. It just was
It's funny though.
Because I saw those two things one after the other in my newsfeed. So I put it up.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
All these people who were super, anti-suicide, which was not anti-suicide, but whatever it is, people that got offended and they tried to get me kicked off of shit. It's crazy, it's just because I made a dumb joke, and then some guy sent me a picture of his little girl who killed herself.
See, that's such bullshit. People, it's a joke, man. That's
it's the world we live in right now.
Yeah. If you're gonna deal with it, listen to a comedian. Well, I gotta ask you, man. Gas Digital is Gas. What's Gas stand for? Is it Gomez and Sutton?
It's Gomez and Sutton.
I'm surprised it's not J Gas.
J Gas. Well, Jay's not an owner.
No, Louis J. Gomez.
Oh, Jay Gas.
I'm surprised he let it go.
It's funny that we were trying to come up with names, and I originally said Lars as a joke because of the Metallica tie-in, but as we Lewis and Ralph's studio.
Yeah.
Right? Lars Media, something stupid like that. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I got you.
And then he goes, I like that we're using the names. And he goes, well, what about Gomez and Sutton? I said, well, you know what? The fact that the other way around is SAG, which makes no sense.
Well, I mean,
Gomez. I said I'll allow it as Gomez and Sutton because also gas allows for high octane entertainment.
Right.
Fuel up with gas, all this other dumb shit. So I was like, yeah, that's the word. So we were pitching it back and forth for a day, and that's how we came up with it.
Yeah, it worked out well. The logo's cool. I like the old school like.
Fiverr.
What's that?
The logo was $5 on Fiverr.
No shit.
I knew I wanted the old style guy, but putting it in his headphones, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. At the time, we were just me and Lewis. We didn't have a team.
Right.
So I went on Fiverr and I paid someone $5. That was the first one back. I'm like, that's it.
No shit. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's so recognizable. You know what I mean? Whenever I see that symbol, I know damn well it's Gas Digital. And
I really love that. Yeah, it's really great. People love the logo.
I do too. Whoever came up with the sound with like rolling over the cord at the gas station, old school, where the service guy would come out, they need a raise or give them props from.
I don't mean to be braggy. It was my stupid idea. I didn't do it though, but it was
Yeah,
my idea.
that was a great idea. I like it.
I didn't produce that segment, but that was my idea.
Yeah, that's a good one. It takes you back. You know what I mean? When I hear it, I know what it means. I feel like I'm going to pay 98 cents for gas. All right, man. Well, let's take another little break, and we'll come back and do a little bit more talking and close this one out.
What is behind you? What is that logo?
That it's not. It's my sponsor. It's a ink poisoning apparel. Can you see it?
Oh, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I've actually. Here, I'll stand up. Let you see the shirt I'm wearing.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. I kind of tiptoe on the line of blasphemy, man.
I don't think that's a tiptoe at all. I think that's a fucking leapfrog over.
I pretty well jumped over that thing a long time ago. As soon as I started calling myself Mayhem Jesus, I pretty well reserved a table in hell.
There's another Jesus guy that I used to talk to. I can't think of his name. Something Stoner Jesus. That's another.
There's a lot of Jesuses, and I go to these festivals. That's where it started, man. My Mayhem Jesus came. I went to a festival with my buddy. He's going to be working with me on the show, Jables. We go to these festivals, and you see all these people dressed up. The first time I went with them, I was like, man, everybody calls me Jesus anyway. So I said, I'm going to get a Jesus outfit, and next year I'm rocking the Jesus. And we rolled with a group that we called Camp Mayhem, so Mayhem Jesus came from that.
That made sense.
And at Louder Than Life in Louisville in 2016, we took a picture. I had this vision of standing on my buddy's shoulders and getting a picture where it looks like I'm walking on the crowd instead of walking on water. You know what I mean?
That's cool. Did he get it?
Yeah. I'll send it to you here in a second, man.
I'm gonna try and find something. Hold on a second.
Yeah, it's on my Mayhem Jesus. There's a Mayhem Jesus on Facebook. It's somewhere on there.
Let me see if I can show you this here. Hold on. There we go. So I used to be this guy. Let me show you this here. Let's save image of that. The way I can just do it like this. Hold on. Can I share?
I believe.
Share screen. Oh, I don't have to. I can't. You have to allow me to share the screen. So I'll just send this to you. Hold on.
Okay. I don't know how to allow it.
Yes, hold on.
We usually have used Skype, so Zoom I'm still trying to figure out. That's why I had.
Skype, it still works. Just hold on. Let me just figure this out here.
I like that it does record it automatically. I'm not going to lose anything.
I'm going to send you a file right now through this. This was me years ago. And it should have notified you that you've got a file. Did you get it through the Zoom?
Nope. It's not notifying me of anything. So you missed Shiprock?
What happened was last year.
Oh, I think I got it. Yeah.
That's me as Moses Jesus. I used to call myself Mises.
Mises?
Yeah. Depending on if you were Jewish or you were Christian or Catholic, you just thought I was Moses or Jesus. So I went by the name Mises.
So yeah, you're cutting the divide right there, aren't you?
Yeah. So by year 11, which was last one, was the 11th Shiprock. My thoughts were, I'd been doing this. I still love it. It's great, But I'm 51, right? And at the time I was 50, and I was like, I don't know if I want. I don't have the passion for it that I did. Even though it was the 11th one, it was actually 12 years ago because they skipped a year. And I did a couple of Motorhead cruises in between. I did a Monsters of Rock cruise. So I probably did 14 cruises that I hosted. And in between that, other festivals and shit like that. I just didn't feel like, oh my God, I really can't wait to do this like I used to feel. I felt I was going because it was the right thing to do. It was an obligation. And my thought was, there's some fucking 25-year-old guy that's hosting a rock show in wherever that would fucking give his right arm to host this.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm hosting it reluctantly. I feel like I'm being a douchebag.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I get that.
We didn't come to terms with exactly how much I was going to get. And I just felt like, it's not, I don't want to argue with it. Let me step down. And if you want to bring me back next year, we'll talk about it. So that's where we are now. They just had me on their podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to ask me to come back on. I know Jay can't do it.
Oh, really?
So I did the first 3 on my own, and then the next 5 with Jay.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 without Jay. So, or something like that. And so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, whatever. I hope it works out. Whatever works out best for you. I don't want you to do something.
Have you been on it a few times or no?
Man, I've crashed their parties. I've not. I go to festivals, landlocked festivals, and there's like a subculture to Shiprock.
Yeah, it's too much.
And I don't like it. The people are
a goofball hierarchy been on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Weird.
And let somebody that's not, a newbie, say something to one of the established and fucking.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, and I don't have patience for that. I'll end up defending somebody and pissing them all off at me. I don't.
I remember when they were going to try and cancel me. It was like 9 people that were all like, really. I said to the owners of Shiprock, "Are you really going to let 9 people dictate who comes on the boat?
Right.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
And one of the guys said, we should kick Ralph off because he doesn't have our views on suicide. And I said, you're right. We should also only bring on people with the same religious views. And
Right.
while we're at it, we should only put white people on. I mean,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you saying? It's
Yeah.
so stupid.
I get a lot of hate because my thoughts on Chester Bennington committing suicide.
70% of the boat is not bad.
Right.
It's 30% that are the people that have been there over and over again and make it part of their religion and who they.
It just
One
seems.
time there was this girl. I can't remember who she was or what, but so she was with me at something, and we weren't dating or anything. She was a pretty girl. I forget who she was, but
You're trying to hit it though, right?
Yeah, for sure. But she saw that Five Finger was about to go on, and she's like, "Oh my God, Five Fingers! If I'm not there, Ivan's gonna be upset." And I said, "What?" I said, "Are you dating him?" I thought he was with her. He's had a girlfriend or he's married to them.
Yeah.
He said, "No, just I said, "Are you going backstage?" She's like, "No, he'll know that I'm there."
Oh, that's all that
So
matters.
she, like in her mind, Ivan's gonna be upset if he looks out at this crowd of 5,000 people and doesn't see her.
Right.
I'm like, well, you just made it a lot easier for me that I'm not gonna have sex with you.
Right. Yeah, he's not gonna see anybody, man. Those lights are a bitch. All right, we're back for our last little bit with Mr. Ralph Sutton. It's been a pleasure talking with you tonight, man.
Thank you, buddy. It's nice to be on a show that has music and talking. It's been a while since I've done something like that.
Well, you seem like a natural fit for it. If I'm going to talk to somebody, I want to talk to somebody that's been doing this shit for a minute. And you're kind of, you and the Sex, Drugs, Rock and Roll, the SDR show. That's kind of where I'm striving to get to eventually. It's really cool. I love what you're doing there.
Thank you. It's funny to think about. My first time in radio was 1998. It was around November of '98. So, however many years that is, 30 years ago. Is that right? I don't even know.
No, 20.
22.
Oh, you're adding years to me.
Something like that. So yeah, it was a long time ago that I started in radio, and it's crazy to see how it all changed. The landscape has changed so much. It's wild. But now what I love is that everybody can do it. It means a lot that everybody can do it. When I started and we had to take calls, we'd have to record them on a giant fucking reel-to-reel and literally splice the tape, curses and stuff. It was horrible. Take 20 minutes and you're still doing your show.
So do you old school guys just like hate on us that didn't ever have to do that? Like we didn't have to.
I was the first one because I've always been a computer guy. I built my computers, been a big advocate of it. I remember when we started in radio, the program director said, "Well, I need 20 sweepers to know that you guys are serious, right? Sweepers are the sounders in between 2 songs that might say like you're listening to blah, 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 those kind of things, right? They call the sweeper because it sweeps between song A to song B, right? And it has like some sort of imaging in it, right? And they thought, oh, you guys are going to edit on tape. This is going to take you weeks and whatever. I was like, there's got to be a digital way to do this. It's like 1998, 99. And at the time, I downloaded a program that was called Cool Edit Pro. Now it's Adobe Audition. And I got it done in a weekend.
Really?
It was easy. I figured it out. And I put it on a CD. I brought it in a week later. And he's like, how the fuck do you do this? I said, we got it done. You told me to get it done. I got it done. So we got our show. That's how we started.
No kidding. I've been trying to do some of those myself, but it's hard to. I want to be creative and I want to do something different. I don't want it to be just like cookie cutter kind of bullshit. So I
used to just look for like this again. Now it's so much easier because you can find things on YouTube, or if you heard of something funny, you can pull it. Me, if I wasn't recording the show at the time, there wasn't even TiVo.
Yeah.
So I had to be recording shows and then pulling it off, rewinding it on tape. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot easier to do that. So, it's time consuming, and there are also people that do this way better than I do. So there's people on Fiverr that will get you 20 great ones in a day.
Right. Yeah, it'll take me 20 days to get a decent one.
Right. So that's why I say work smarter, not harder. When I was working at Juice Press, they gave me this big Excel project, and I'm okay with Excel.
Right.
But I didn't really. I was like, this is. And he said this should take you about a week. and there's a ton of data entry. So I just went on Fiverr, found some dude that was like an Excel expert. He did it in a day, and I came back. I got paid for a week. I stayed home. I did nothing, and I came in and brought it. Here you go, done.
That's why you're the boss, man.
It's about thinking creatively. That's all. Figuring out a way to do it.
Think out of the box. And I tell you what, man, with all this stuff, I'm kind of in your path. When you tell your story, it kind of reflects a little bit, especially with the nightclub promoting and just acting like you knew what the fuck you were doing, because that's kind of what I do. I'm just waiting on somebody to figure out that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
And believe me, what I used to do, this is highly illegal, is we couldn't get tickets for shows. Right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to seem bigger than we were, so we'd give away tickets to concerts, but I just make all the lines busy.
Oh, yeah?
Right? And then we'd make up a name in a city, congratulations, and I figured if we get caught, I'll buy tickets for somebody.
The good thing is, at least you're not hurting anybody. You're just disappointing a bunch of people.
Yeah, well, they just thought they didn't make it. Yeah, they called it was busy, whatever. But it made our show seem so much bigger than it was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because we just were doing, shucking it down. People, which I'm sure you've learned already in doing your show, unfortunately, people believe the narrative you serve.
Right.
No matter what, they just believe it. That's just human nature. So you decide that narrative.
Right.
So if I'm giving away front row tickets to a Guns N' Roses concert, people will no one's going to say, I bet he doesn't have those tickets.
Right.
They're going to be like, I'm going to win those.
I'm going to win those tickets. And then they'll be like, damn, I didn't win those tickets.
Yeah.
I was the 49th caller, man. One more caller, I'd have had them. I would just answer the phone. You're the 49th caller. You're the 49th caller.
So fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, people are a little susceptible to that shit, I think.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Thank God for people like us that can shuck and jive the system.
That is a great quote from the founder and owner of Gas Digital.
I mean, look, when we built the studio, I had no fucking idea how to build a multi-camera HD studio.
Yeah, man, that had to have been a crazy thing to go under. I mean, how do you even? I can't. Where to start?
Yeah, the school of Google and YouTube. And my favorite story. I've told this a lot, so I apologize, but it just gives you an idea of how to figure this out. At the time, we're going back now 5-6 years, maybe 6 years.
Right.
To build a multi-camera studio in HD, there was one option really. It was called a TriCaster, and it was like $8,000 or more.
Of course.
And I was like, well, I'm not spending that kind of money. I don't even remember how I found this by Googling a card that plugs in a computer that was available on Amazon for like $600 that you could plug in multiple cameras in the back, right?
Yeah.
And supposedly they showed up as different ports, and you could then use any software to have multi-camera. Fine, I bought it. I figured doesn't work, I could return it.
Right.
Bought it. It came with only, I think, Japanese, maybe Chinese instructions, no American instructions. And I used Google Translate where I held up the picture to the phone.
Oh, man.
And figured out where to download the drivers.
Dude, that's impressive.
How to set up. And it worked. And instead of spending $8,000, we spent $600.
How much time did it take you to figure that shit out?
Took a while.
Yeah.
Took a while.
And it's frustrating as time too, but it's got to be worth $7,000.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it. It's also like with our computer, our first computers I built. I'd never built a computer before. I'm like, I know it's like 35-40% cheaper to buy one.
So you mean for the network?
For the network, our first ones. Yeah,
really?
Our first computer that ran, I built those first two, and it was a lot cheaper. But I mean, twice I built the whole thing and I turned it on. It just didn't work. I had to disassemble everything.
Oh,
and figure out what would. It was crazy.
That's why I don't do that.
Yeah, but in the beginning when money is tight,
oh yeah,
you figure out a way to do it.
Well,
I built our first website. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Was it 2016 that you guys started Gas?
2016 sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're 5 years in. You guys became Gas about the time I became Mayhem Jesus.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's actually not. I think it's 2016 is when SDR started.
Oh.
So I think it was either 2017 or 18.
Yeah. Actually, I probably got it written down.
Yeah. I think 16 for sure was when SDR started.
Oh my goodness. It did not go to. It says Gas 2016. Hey, whenever I listen to it, you ever have anybody tell you that it sounds like you're listening to Gas Digital?
No, but that's funny. I wanted to do.
You'll hear it every time now that I've said it.
I wanted to do a thing called gas holes, which is always funny.
That's awesome, man.
Just like for the behind the scenes stuff was called gas holes, but
Yeah.
I think that would get flagged, so I never.
Isn't that crazy, man? You can't say any. I've got stuff getting flagged from 5, 6, 7 years ago. Man.
We've lost sponsors, many, because of the name of the show, SDR. What does it stand for? Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Oh, I can't sponsor a show that says sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
You know how many compliments and comments and shit I've gotten? I've got a sex, drugs, rock and roll T-shirt. The black with the white sex, drugs, rock and roll down it, and fucking everybody loves that shirt, man. It's one. Oh yeah, it's in my regular T-shirt rotation.
Okay, that's nice to know.
For sure.
I found a long time ago that for the most part, expressions sell better than identity shirts. Meaning, like the SDR show with Big J and Ralph,
right,
is not going to sell as well.
That's an advertisement.
Yeah, exactly. But sex, drugs, and rock and roll, people are going to buy that
because it's cool.
Cool shirt.
Yeah. You might as well have a McDonald's shirt on. Well, hey, I'm gonna let you go. I'll fucking wrap this one up with you. But I just want to thank you once again, man. It's a pleasure to meet you, pleasure to talk to you, and I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you so much. I'll say this. Follow me everywhere at I am Ralph Sutton. Follow the SDR show everywhere at the SDR show. And follow Gas Digital everywhere at Gas Digital.
There you go. Make sure you check them out, man. They've got so many good shows. I'd say my top 3 podcasts are on the Gas Digital Network. Well, I know they are.
That's great.
I know they are.
I love hearing that. We're about to launch, I think, one really cool rock and roll show that I'm sworn to secrecy right now, but I think it's going to happen before the end of the year, which would be a fucking great show if it happens.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see it, man. The ones that I follow them all, but I'll go ahead and tell you, man. Legion Skank Smile's my favorite, man. That's what got me turned on to it. Big J's the dude. I like them all now. It took me a long time to like Dave. Dave was the one that I like Lewis right away too, because
usually it's Jay. Usually it's Dave and Jay are the easier ones to like.
I like that he's an asshole. Yeah, that's what I like about him.
But usually when you end up liking Lewis, Lewis is the one you die for. That's usually what it is. That's what's the longest to like Lewis, and then you're.
Yeah, then you're a go-mite. Then you're a go-mite. Yeah. No, I remember.
I literally believe 70% of his fans want to have sex with him.
I'm so glad I'm not a go-mite. Yeah, I like that right away. What got actually Dave is one of my favorites now. I mean, you guys got so many good ones. I like the Irish goodbye, the Irish fucking goodbye. That's a great one.
Those are really funny.
Yeah. And then the guests that you guys get, like I said, their whole circle of friends are just amazing, man.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
From Shane Gillis to Ari Shaffir to like all of them, they're just great.
They're really good. It's a really good cast of characters. Just
it is.
Yeah, it's a fun environment.
Yeah, well, hey, man, I hope everything keeps going as well as it has been. Looks like you guys are doing great, and I wish you much success in the future.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. That's what I was waiting on, man. You made my day. All right. Thanks for joining today, man. We'll be out.
Have a good